coming down.
No, I think
we started talking about this while we're sitting on the side because we were talking about censorship and how Trump got censored back in the day. But now, with this recent thing with Marjorie Green, or is it Marjorie Taylor Green?
Marjorie Taylor
got censored off of both Facebook and Twitter for comments that she made and things like that. So I was wondering if you guys had any insight on that.
It's just. Again, I don't want to be like partisan about it and just say like it's. We put way too, as a society, we put way too much emphasis and way too much trust in a government, or not government, in politicians. With a government structure that has worked, and has become one of the greatest superpowers that we've ever seen in our 200 years, of history. I mean, who knows? The Romans, they did their things, but I mean, a lot of the stuff that they did was barbaric. The Greeks did their things. A lot of their stuff was barbaric. But it's probably been the most civilized empire in a while. And it's just crazy that, like, they're derailing such a great structure, and they're camouflaging it with shit like, slavery and things that were, like, at the time were seen completely different. Like, it was just basic ignorance. Things were done out of basic ignorance and necessity. It's like, this is how we make money. This is how we make capital, and they exploit. You know what I mean? It's no different than people being exploited now. You get exploited in being a football player. You get exploited in being on film, on things like that. You get exploited anywhere. The only difference is you get compensated better for it. Slavery was the one where you weren't getting compensated at all. So it's just kind of a thing, and they take that stigma, which is a great argument to make, and they use it in instances where it has no bearing, just to try to prove their point, or just to try to, like, camouflage their intentions, and these politicians politicians are shit people. Anybody that gets into politics is fucked up in the head, in my opinion. You got some fucked up shit going on. If you enter politics.
Wait, so just so I'm clear on your stance towards that comment, so are you referring to Marjorie Taylor Green, like, making dumb comments?
No. I'm referring to how two parties have manipulated, the two-party system has manipulated our government structure to benefit their
themselves,
their hidden intentions. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No.
And it's like, if the structure was
so in relation to what was
what you guys are talking about,
about censorship, and Marjorie Taylor Green,
that I can't speak on, because I honestly don't know what you guys are talking about. So you guys can give me clip notes, so I can talk about it. But
so Marjorie Taylor Green was censored from maybe Facebook and definitely Twitter.
Okay.
Like, I think she's banned from Twitter for life, and I could care less about Marjorie Taylor Green.
Why?
She makes some outlandish, like, kind of stupid comments. I can't.
But who doesn't on Twitter?
Correct. True.
Yeah.
But she is political representative, and you would expect a little more from her. But regardless, she got censored.
Would you though? That's kind of the point I was making. It's like, we put too much emphasis on these politicians, thinking that they're great people. They're shit people.
Definitely.
Anybody that gets into politics is a shit person.
Okay, but I think the thing on censorship in general, like, I do not like Marjorie Taylor Green. I do not like Donald Trump. Doesn't mean they should be censored. Like, never should anybody be censored.
Right.
We all should have the ability to be like, you know what, I disagree with this person. I'm not going to listen to it.
But at the same time, so this is where the lines are they get blurry, is that as a private entity and in a capitalist society, I should be able to say, yeah, I don't want you on my platform. You know, like, this is my platform. Yeah. I don't like it. If you can't follow my guidelines on what, you know what I mean? Like, if I own a store and I'm like, hey man, you can't come in my store and piss on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not
I'm
what
gonna
you
kick
do.
you out.
I'm kicking you out. You are banned from this store. I don't want you coming in here and pissing on my floor.
Have the argument of, oh, you know what? You're just singling me out. You know.
Yeah, because you're the only one pissing in my store.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, I am singling you out, and yeah, there is a reason why.
Line.
Yeah, and you're crossing that line, and I don't want you. Well, you don't kick anybody else out. This guy goes and, you know, throws up on your floor. All right, I'm cool with throw up. I'm not cool with piss.
Correct.
That's my.
Well, the problem is though defining the line, and, you know, being consistent with it. So it's like there's a bunch of people putting bullshit on Twitter to the level of Marjorie Taylor Green. How do you define that? How do you say
You're saying not have a bias to it.
Correct. Yeah.
Where it's like it's only conservative views that we're
Exactly.
But again, you run the fine line.
So if you have that shit defined already, and I go into it, then it's like, all right, well, I knew the rules going in, and I disobeyed. I went against them. All right, yeah, definitely. I'm pissing in your store.
Right.
I deserve to get kicked out.
Right.
But it's a little
so
because it's some of the stuff's being done after the fact. It's like, oh, you know what, that you crossed the line there.
Right.
But it's like, how did I know that before? Where is that line?
Yeah.
You know, how is it defined?
Yeah. Are you giving me the opportunity to reconcile for my mistake?
Correct.
You
yeah.
know, and which I'm sure they are.
Was it an honest mistake?
I'm sure they are, and I'm sure she's kind of pissing in the store out of spite for a certain. But here's the thing. So if Twitter came out tomorrow and was like, we are a progressive media outlet, and you can put whatever you want to put on here, but if you come with any conservative kind of thoughts or views that we disagree with, we'll kick you off our platform.
See, I think that's pretty weird in itself, you know, as well. And it's like
you're starting to see conservative platforms pop up.
That's the thing. So it's like you have the right to do that. You have the right as a private entity. You have the right to come out and say
create a conservative
they haven't,
platform.
Which is I think why a lot of people are pissed off, because they're saying, well, you're not censoring these progressive thoughts, but you're these conservative ones. So they haven't defined that line because obviously they're not going to, because it's bad for business. But ultimately, you know, most big tech is gonna lean liberal. So the beauty of our economy and the beauty of our country is that you can say, all right, cool, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do the opposite, and I'm gonna see how many people jump on my bandwagon, and that will have a conservative side that kicks off all kind of liberal, ideologies.
The same thing, yeah.
Flip it, you have that opportunity to do that. Nothing's stopping you.
I'm kind of curious to see how that works. What is it? This Truth Network that he's creating?
I guess. I mean, they had Parler and other things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing now. When the government comes in and steps in now and starts censoring like Parler and says they can't be
can't do that.
You can't be like, we'll take your business license. We'll take that. Now that's where I have a problem with it.
Definitely.
The government has it's like separation of church and state. There should be separation of economy and state. Yeah. You know, in my opinion, they shouldn't.
Well,
if you're Nancy Pelosi, you shouldn't be able to trade because you have access to manipulate the market. You know,
a lot of people will follow what she does.
Yeah, not only follow what she does, she had
she's setting bars for.
You could shut down an economy. You can shut down an entire economy with mandates and say, hey, look, no,
she's
you guys can't.
doing it. Yeah, and she's making.
The government's doing it. You know, so it's like, how can you have stake? How is there no conflict of interest there?
No, I mean,
and I'm not just getting on Pelosi. But this is just because she's in the news right now.
Correct.
They all do it. They all do it.
Correct,
you know, you had Halliburton. You had Cheney.
No, I mean, it's been happening for.
It's like it's the game. Yeah. It's the game. You know, and the fact that we sit there and we still praise these politicians like they're fantastic.
Defend them. Yeah.
You know, just because you're partisan to their party, you're like, no, Kamala. You know, but
different.
Yeah, like no, they're just doing. They justify. They're just doing what the Republicans have been doing or whatever other parties.
Doesn't make it
right.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it right.
Well, I think that in general is what's happening now, right? We're just let's go, Brandon.
It's a pissing contest.
and fuck Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going. Same people, you know, they're just doing this. They're defending or saying it out loud
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You know, so we're just in this never-ending circle.
I don't think it's the never-ending circle.
Well, I mean,
But
I mean, it's been happening since I've been an adult.
it's a pendulum swing.
Correct.
Is what I think. You know.
Correct, but
And
we're
that's
all.
what-
But I think we're all like in this little hamster wheel, and we get to one side and we're like, oh yeah. Now we got the juice, and it's like, you know, do we really? Like, we're still getting screwed.
And this is the to me, this is the irony between woke culture, is that woke culture has become more like a virtue signaling kind of thing, where the actual thought of being woke is understanding that human nature is that kind of pendulum swing, or that roundabout of that hamster wheel of constant, like, okay, now we have control, okay, now we have control, and now we have control, and it's this constant swing, like, we beat them at this game, we beat them at this game, knowing that that's human nature. Human nature is to have that constant, like, battle,
back and forth.
you know. That's why there's tribes, that's why there's in human history, that's why there's never been a time where it's been utopian, since if you're religious and you think of the Garden of the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, that's the only kind of time where it was utopian.
Garden of Eve, though.
Garden of Eve would be
pretty good.
legit.
I think that's
You know
a new
what I mean?
podcast.
Yeah.
I'm spinning off and doing my own.
The Garden of Eve. Hell yeah. But yeah, it's like people through years and years of history have realized that that's just human nature. So then now politicians have refined and capitalized on
Correct.
it.
Yeah, totally.
You know? So
Totally.
now it's just like, that's the game. The game is like, you guys are all sheep. You guys are all going to follow what we tell you to do, as long as
We're just gonna
we
give this
give you
side
we give you your like little,
for a few years, and then this other side we're gonna give you, and then it's gonna.
or it just swings. It's like it's like that famous saying where, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So as long as you and I coincide in what we are against, we're going to continue. That's going to be the majority rule.
Yeah.
As soon as that stops being the case, as soon as I say some shit and you're like, whoa, bro, no, I'm not, I don't get down like that.
Yeah.
Now you become the enemy. Now he teams up with somebody else, and then the pendulum swings, because it's like, yeah, see, this is what we've been saying this whole time. When you hear conservatives nowadays walking around talking about my body, my choice when it comes to vaccines, and you're like, but you can't make that same argument for abortion
yeah.
because of your religious beliefs. Ultimately, no. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. If I had a religious belief about a mandate, you'd want me to respect the religious beliefs of the mandate, but
Well, I think that's the interesting thing now. I mean, that's what is happening now.
It is.
It's both sides.
Yeah, it's like,
Both sides
all of a sudden you guys get our argument.
Both sides are contradicting themselves, and it's like, all right, well, what do you believe?
Right.
You know, it's like, what do you actually believe?
Right.
You're just kind of spurred on by politics or religion. It's like, what is the actual? What do you think?
Yeah.
You know.
Or do you even have thoughts?
Correct.
Do you
yeah,
have your own thoughts?
yeah.
Have you formulated your own thoughts?
Correct.
Or are you just regurgitating some shit that Joe Rogan said, regurgitating some
Yeah,
shit
who
that
knows? Yeah,
you heard on
definitely.
Rise,
Well,
you know what I mean? And a lot of it is that, you know, like I get caught up with that shit.
And that's why I said this before, I like having a beer with somebody and actually talking to them, because you really hear.
I like having sex with someone, because that's the only way. They're vulnerable, you're vulnerable. That's the only way you know.
After
You at the after
all
sex
true.
talks, and you look over and
It's
you're
all
like,
true.
so Roman,
So you were lying this
where
whole
you
fucking
where you at
time.
with abortion? Because we low key need to figure something out. You know? No, I'm fucking around. But I get 100%. I didn't mean to throw you off what you
No,
were saying.
no,
I
it's
just
not at all.
had to be a dick for a second.
But no, it is. I mean,
It's getting to the point where I question, like, do I even have my own original thoughts?
Correct,
Or is
yeah.
a lot of the things I'm saying just stuff that I'm regurgitating?
We're easily influenced because we have social media. We have our phones. It's easily accessible. You know, and it's not, you getting caught in that trail of just like Instagram feed, and it's just you'll hear, you know, what you want to hear. It's like you got to question everything. That's like my thing now. It's like I'll question everything, especially the things that I like hearing,
Right.
or that, like, it's like, oh, I agree with that. I need to question those even more than anything.
Yeah. One thing I've learned in this whole debacle of a pandemic, of a political system, of the last 8 years of just bullshit. One thing I've learned is that everything that you have in your own, how can I say this? Everything that you think, oh, great. We'll get back.
What time?
Yeah, I'll adjust it. As long as the mics aren't like at the top of our heads, so we're on like.
He doesn't want to come on the podcast.
I think I could probably.
Well, let me know. Let me know when you hit him up. I'll hit him up.
He thinks it's just me being a dick, wanting to get him like
Gotcha.
to say some dumb shit.
Well, if you keep doing it every week and you make it more consistent.
Yeah, I think I could coerce him to come on.
I was talking to Karen right now, and she said that she would come on here and talk. She has a lot to say.
That'd be good. I mean,
She'd be fantastic.
Well, you know what's funny is that you come on here with a lot to say, but then when the cameras are on you and you're like, this is gonna go on the internet, you're like,
No.
I should probably.
yeah, tone it down.
I should probably think of what I'm gonna say.
That'd be good.
She's jumped on some of those Instagram lives with people that have like fucking done joint things, and she has no
Going
clue.
ham?
Yeah, she'll be
So my thought, what I was saying was,
sorry.
one thing I've learned through all this is that I don't have 100% vested interest in any of my thoughts or any of my convictions. You know, a lot of it's kind of like, I strongly agree with this, and then I strongly disagree with this, and then I'm middle of the road with a lot of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's something where I think people need to really think about what they think they're 100% convicted to, and just say like, does somebody else have a point?
No, so that's kind of what I do in a different way though. But I will gravitate wherever I naturally like feel like I'll see something and be like, oh, okay, this is how I naturally think, right? And then I'll try and read into it or hear opposing thoughts, and then just be open-minded to it's like radical open-mindedness,
Right.
you know, and that's like the key to, you know,
So
being
radical
better.
open-mindedness, you mean like think of the polar opposite of what you feel?
Correct. Yeah.
And like check
And checking it, and a lot of it's absurd or could be absurd or maybe not. It's like, oh shit, they hit on a awesome point here.
Right.
Like that makes sense
can't
to me.
defend that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
correct.
can't defend
Yeah.
my point
No,
to
and
that point.
I just do that. I try and do that with everything. You know,
It's hard to
and
do it internally.
definitely,
It helps
it
when
is.
you have the dialogue.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to naturally, you're just like you refuse it. You know, it's just like, you know what? Nah, this is how I think.
Yeah.
But then when you kind of just put yourself or make yourself kind of question it, that's when it's like, oh shit, like that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, and for everybody to do that, and that's why, like I said, I like having a beer with somebody, because I try and throw that out, and I know you do too. You know, you question what you question or what you think is right, and that's the way most people should try and think about
I think
things.
that's why our friendship or our dynamic works so much, is that we are like-minded in that sense, where we can, but we're polar opposites based off of, I'm assuming based off of how we were raised, to where our ideals lie.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so it's kind of a good, like, I like having, like with you or his Cox, I always like.
And
having,
ultimately, you don't have a problem saying, you know what, I hear you out, but I still disagree with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And likewise, so
And it's just because, like, whatever I went through in my life,
Correct,
whatever
yeah.
upbringing I had,
No.
it just makes me, I can't.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I just
so-
don't like mustard. I'm sorry,
dude,
bro.
I remember hearing. We were in a car actually with his Cox going to get lunch, and so like me, militant high school me, I did like a report on Che Guevara, right? And you had
Great
a
guy. Fantastic guy.
No, but you
Tattoo on my back.
you were in the car and you're Cuban descent. You have Cuban family, Cuban history, and you were explaining to me things, you know. And I was like, I never heard that.
Yeah.
I didn't read that in a book.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't read that in the books I was reading.
Right.
And everything can be put in a bias, you know. And,
Yeah.
and hearing it from a personal standpoint is even more, you know, revealing than anything, you know. So it made me question a lot of things like that I had previously learned. So it's pretty.
No, and you also have like the verification of like bro, I went to college. I got my degree. I'm educated.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no, and you think that
I'm educated.
somebody
and
could
you have a GED or a high school diploma, like.
but you know what, like triggered it for me. It was like, yo, that was my grandpa. My grandpa went through that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, fuck, I can't argue against that.
Yeah.
That was somebody. That's a personal thing. You know.
Yeah.
So
they lived through that.
Yeah, definitely.
They firsthand experience.
Yeah. No,
as opposed to reading
and
through
early
it.
on, like in that car ride, I was like, fuck, like I need to rethink about this. You know, I need to research up on it. You know, I need to see things. You know,
Is that why you got that Che Guevara tattoo?
definitely.
I was wondering. I was
me and
like,
Mike Tyson got the same.
He's like,
same
yes.
tat, bro.
We like when he came out of prison with the Che Guevara tattoo and the Mao tattoo. It broke my heart because like I was like, I love Mike Tyson so much, and I was like, he's back and this that, and he came with the giant Che Guevara tattoo, and I look at my dad and I look at like my uncles and stuff. I'm like, is it cool still like him? It's like I knew my grandfather would have a fit. I was like, is it still cool? Like he's still a beast, right? Then he got the tattoo on his face. It's like, he's just into dumb tattoos. Cool, I'm good.
He's just going crazy right now.
It's cool. Tattoo yourself up, bro. You're good. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are talking about sports because I have one more question. It's about sports.
Hell yeah, bring it on. Welcome back to the podcast. Of the
Yes.
Have you both heard of Hansel Emmanuel? Do you know who he is? So he's kind of actually been like either like an Instagram, YouTube kind of sensation where he kind of grew up playing basketball, but he had his arm amputated.
Oh, the one arm basketball player. Yeah.
Phenomenal videos that he's the way he's playing. Like it used to be like when you watched it at first, it seemed like he was just playing with one of the guys. Like, oh, cool, this is one basketball player.
Yeah.
But now as you see him as he's grown up and he's playing in a lot of these AAUs and all this stuff, and he's kind of dominating out there just the way everybody with the same kind of abilities as the two-armed individual that I have. What are your thoughts on this guy? You think he can make Division I?
I hope Duke can make Division I, because I mean,
able-bodied is what they're called.
Yeah, I didn't want to come. I didn't want to create dead air with him.
You asshole, coughing up. Yeah.
I know. Well, I was trying to say able-bodied to help him out, but no, yeah, able-bodied.
Good whiskey? What are you drinking?
Yeah, whiskey. Yeah. Buffalo Trace right down the esophagus. You were saying, sorry.
No, I mean, dude is amazing. Dude is amazing. So, and that's the thing, though. It's like, is he amazing with like
That's
great
what
players?
I'm saying. Is he or here?
But okay, so like the first video I saw of him was like street ball, and they were like, I don't know if he's got his right arm, left arm, but they were like
his left arm, I believe.
That's amputated. Yeah. But they were like, make him go left. Like, and it was like a street video. I think it was House of Highlights or whatever. And they were like, make him go left, make him go left. And like, it was like, that's kind of funny. And then dude like can do amazing things with just his right arm. Yeah. Like, it's pretty sick. And then he's graduate, like he's going up like AAU or whatever he's in, but it's like more of a professional setting. It's not street ball, and he's still dominating. He's still doing dope things.
But here's my thing. Like, I don't know enough about him specifically to know, is he dominating or is he just doing well? And we're looking at highlight reels of him doing well. Like, do you know?
I'm gonna say currently, I mean, basketball knowledge. If you rate me in basketball knowledge, I'm maybe like a 3. I mean, I like basketball. I like the sport. I'm a fan.
I thought you were like 9.
No. But dude looks amazing. Like he is pretty dope. And I'm rooting for the dude.
He's athletic as all hell.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, so like,
you have to be.
I mean, Division I schools, right? Like, what schools are signing him? Right. He's got like he got his first scholarship about 6 months ago to like Texas North University, something like obscure school, but it's D1.
Right.
So which is dope, Hopefully he gets something cool, and we could see him compete against people that are dope.
A lot of guys with all their limbs that can't make.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I mean, you would think the school is like playing the marketing game. It's like, hey, if we get this dude, we're gonna get views. We're gonna get some funding, we're gonna get something from it. So it makes sense in that aspect, but I want the dude to do well. I mean, so like at first I was just like,
people want him to do bad.
I mean, I'm sure people hate on him. Definitely, there's haters everywhere.
I mean, technically, I'd be hating in the sense.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass it along to you. This is.
I mean, seeing the things he can do. I mean, not to like put nerdy aspect like superhero stuff, But when you lose the aspect of sight or whatever,
Right.
you gain senses otherwhere.
Pull up, step back, 3-pointer.
But I mean, yeah, he's got a shot. He can drive inside. I mean, it's pretty cool to see what he's doing. So it's like, oh dang, maybe he can be something pretty awesome. But I mean, time will tell.
I mean, for me, this is all subjective as well. It's like, what's your definition of awesome? To me, the fact that he's doing what he's doing
is
right now
awesome.
is awesome.
Correct. He doesn't have to do anything.
He doesn't need to make
correct.
it to the NBA. He doesn't make
Correct.
it to, like, the fact
Definitely.
that he has a highlight reel like that with one arm
Is amazing
he's
in
schooling
itself.
dudes that have all their limbs. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, it's like, dang, I want to see this dude like
Oh, it'd be
do
sick.
amazing things.
It'd be
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but
what he's doing with that one arm is pretty badass.
Do
Like,
you
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's something that he can make it to where he can make it in the NBA? Because there's Shaquem
I don't think so.
Griffin for the Seahawks got drafted with one arm playing linebacker for the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's linebacker.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Linebacker.
Not
Yeah,
right.
So that's the
He's not-
thing.
he's
You
not-
don't get too many opportunities.
He's not
to
one
talk
armed.
about
He's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
one-handed, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
It's like he's got like 3/4 of an arm, right?
right.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you can
that's-
still wrap someone up if he had just like this kid where he just has like above the elbow,
Yeah.
Amputee or above the elbow deformity. It's like, and you have to dribble a basketball like that. To me, he's way more athletic than a football player that has 3/4 of an arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can still rap. You can still make a lot of hits. Now, if you have a guy with one arm making tackles like that, like that's insane.
Ridiculous. Yeah, yeah.
But the kid, he's not.
Yeah, but
As
at
much
the
as much
same-
as I'd love to say, yeah, I'd love to see him in the NBA or make it there. You know what I mean? Even if he rides a pine, I really don't care. It'd be great to see that somebody with a disability has that much potential. That's fantastic. Like that's what I'm always about. I'm always about equal opportunity. Whether you're deformed, you have a deformity, whether you don't have a deformity, whether you're whatever, whether you came from these circumstances or not, as long as you have equal opportunity to get to where you're at, it makes that argument that it's the American dream. No matter what you're born with, what circumstances you have, you can make it. So as much as I want him to succeed, the actual like statistics in life and probability of it is not. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. D1 is probably the highest.
Although one dope thing is he is showing what he is doing with one arm is pretty goddamn amazing. Like, it's like, damn, there's that potential. People could
Everyone's
do that.
gonna say,
people.
imagine what he could do with 2 arms.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean everybody could do it with 2 arms
Same thing with
we
that
have
kid.
we were fortunate to have those
Yeah.
2 arms.
But here's the thing: is like, would he be as good as he is if he had 2 arms?
Probably not,
Probably would've
because
just been a regular-
it's always that level of like, oh, it's like we can only get this far. Fuck it.
To
I'm
me,
not gonna try.
that's the greatest story.
Yeah.
That's what highlights
Well,
everything.
and I agree with you on that because it's like there is a shitload of potential in my right arm,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm not 10% of it, I guess.
Like, you just need to beat off.
Yeah. Left.
Oh, stranger?
Lefty.
Lefty stranger.
Switch
I
it
like
up.
it. I like it.
Sit on it for
It's like a
like 20 minutes.
it's like a blind
But
date.
now it's I don't got time.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Lefty's a prepper. No, it's insane. Like, I don't want to say anything bad towards the kid, and I don't want like me being realistic about it. But here's the thing, though. This is what's kind of beautiful about humanity in itself is that once somebody sees the potential, there's always someone that surpasses that potential.
Put in a bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
like-
what's
it's like
dope
that's capable of
about
being done.
what he's doing. He's
He may
setting
not
a
be the
bar.
first, he may not be one that will make it to the
Correct.
NBA, but there may be a kid.
He's setting a bar.
There
Like,
may be a
hey,
kid that like has a deformity or a disability,
and hopefully,
like that.
hopefully
one
he
whatever.
is that dude that trailblazes and
the
outliers the shit
That's
and
the thing.
puts it to the top. But I mean,
But you know what's shitty about that is that the guy that makes it to the NBA will be the one that will go down in history as the greatest. You know what I mean?
I'm always in
We were,
proud of
yeah,
that
because
guy.
we were in
Yep.
that time.
this video right here, setting the bar.
Earl the GOAT, bro. Earl the GOAT. Earl Manigault. No one hears about him. Street legend. Even better than Jordan from what some people say.
What some people say.
The GOAT. Earl the GOAT.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Right? So, that's interesting.
Next question.
please.
Not a question.
You had a
No.
question?
Oh, but you
Should have
well,
prepped, bro. Did you have any questions for him?
those were the questions.
I sent him a few yesterday.
Oh, those ones that
Yeah,
you said?
some of
Well, I mean, if you want to keep elaborating a little on the Hansel Emmanuel, what about that kid that's been lighting up the Instagram on the golf part of it, the one-armed golfer? You ever seen that kid?
Yeah, he's got a left arm.
Yeah, it's just the left arm, and it's just all. But
I'd be more impressed if it was the right arm.
Huh?
I'd be more impressed if it was right arm, right-handed the right arm.
You asshole.
Do you think he would be? You think he would golf left? Do you think he would golf left-handed if he had a right arm?
Interesting.
As hard as that is to
Interesting.
kind of
I think he would.
Yeah?
I think it makes more sense.
Yeah,
Just because you have more leverage.
You have to do more.
You know, it's just like a backhand.
I'm
So
still
it'd be
waiting to get this. I wanted to get this guy back on the course. It's beautiful out lately.
Not with those fucking shoes, is not.
I'm going in my J's, bro. Yeah, I definitely am.
They broke the last
I
one.
just glued them back up, bro. They're good. We're good.
Give me your shoe size, please, so I can buy you some spikes.
No, bro. I don't
It'd
need
be
it.
an honor to me to
No,
buy you some spikes.
just buy me some, like drill-on spikes.
No, bro.
Why not?
Because it defeats the purpose of having spikes.
I'm gonna send you.
How does it defeat the purpose? Explain it to me, just so I understand, because I don't think it
Alright.
makes sense.
See, because now everyone can tune out now because
No,
we're
no,
going to
no.
be talking
This
golf.
should all be just bullshit.
Yeah,
golf,
this is
and you
golf
guys can start
nerdy
filming your
shit. You can
intros,
fire
your
up the drone
outros.
now because this is going to be the dumb shit.
Well,
So,
no, you should film your intros, your outros here, and things like that, and all that. But
This is going to be-
for everyone that's tuned in for this long, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your support. We appreciate it, all 24 of you.
We're cutting this up, by the way.
Yeah. If you guys haven't already, please comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff to help fuel the algorithm and help this channel grow, hopefully. If not, just keep watching because we appreciate the watching.
Correct. Thank you very much.
Much love to all you guys, and for you haters out there, we love you too because it's still a view. So, yeah, see you guys later. Shoots. So, the structure of the shoe is built around the spike. All right. So they have actual. So if I were to get like those shoes,
So you can't put those.
And I've been down